Hey, I'm Taylor with AvidMax, and I am here to introduce the new Scott Session. We're here to test it out on the water today, put it through the ringer. We're gonna go over some of the components on this rod, and then we'll see how it fishes. On the Session, it comes with milled aluminum reel seats, Type 2 anodized and wood inserts right here, super grade cork handle, and then up into the nitride stripping guides. If you have any desire to check those out more in depth, Scott does a great job of explaining those on their website. And another big push with Scott on these components is they advertise that it's an extra $100 worth of value in components, as opposed to other rods. They wanted to put that money back into the rod instead of using it other areas like marketing or other channels. So that's a huge component of all Scott rods. Another key component on this Session and other Scott rods is a hook keep, as well as alignment dots. So I'm a huge fan of both of those. I know some companies choose to omit them. I find them super useful. So Scott's main objective with this rod was to provide high line speed, exceptional loop control, all while maintaining that kind of light and lively feel in hand. They wanted this rod to respond well to subtle inputs. So what that kind of means in layman terms is just being a better tool for getting the job done, where you want to be able to put your casts, letting the rod do most of the work for you, just makes for an easier day fishing. Today we are fishing the 9'6" 5-weight. Since it is the middle of winter in Colorado, the preferred method is to nymph. This is a much better nymph stick. There's a fish, nice. First test for the new Session here. It's got some spirit, come on little guy. Nice. Caught him on a little size 20 Mercury flashback pheasant tail. Typical winter bug for us here. All right, where was I before that fish so rudely interrupted us? Since it is the middle of winter, focusing on nymphing today, so definitely more of a nymphing oriented stick. With that longer reach, I can, mend line better, control my drift, and see how many fish we can put on the board today. I'll be breaking ice off the guides all day. All right, guys, nice brown here. He's dogging me. There we go, nice. All colored up on the Scott Session. Took an ecstasy egg here. Can't complain about that fish. We'll take that one all day long. Oh, come on, buddy. First impressions now that I've caught a couple fish. The rod loads really well. It's sensitive in the tip, but still has enough backbone to kind of muscle those fish in if you need to. Scott is describing this as a medium fast rod. So if you're familiar with the old Scott lineup, the radium is what this is going to be very similar to. So fast tip, soft tip into kind of that backbone in the mid and butt of the rod. So you can definitely feel that as I try to turn over this indicator rig. It's definitely got enough power to punch out there, but maintain that soft tip for accuracy. Another thing you quickly notice about this rod is just how light it is. I've been fishing this rod for a couple hours now and don't feel any strain in the arm. Been holding the rod up high to get my line off the water for a lot of these casts, and with a lot of my other rods, I'd be feeling it, but definitely not the case with this guy. Dude, this thing roll casts like a dream. Probably because it's a longer rod, but still. Let's try a new spot. Oh, there's a fish, nice. Little itty bitty guy, but they all count the same. We'll check out this little guy. Not super big, but you know, just the joy of getting outside. One thing I'm noticing in this faster current here, definitely the rod's ability to mend line exceeds what I was expecting of it. Getting a little bit of wind right now, but rod definitely has enough power to kind of punch through that, especially with a heavy rig. Oh, that's a fish. I thought that was a snag. Nice. Perfect. See if we can get him into some slower water over here. Not smart to be fighting a fish downstream, but we make do with the conditions that are presented. Oh, nope. Turn up. There we go. All right, guys, just got done spending the day on the water with the Scott session here and just wanted to recap the day, kind of tell you what I'm thinking and what I thought of the rod. So first impression, you get the aesthetic of a Scott rod. I mean, these things look immaculate. The scribing on them is all hand done. Everything about this is a handmade rod. I kind of touched on it earlier, but Scott's mentality behind this is fast with feel. You can definitely feel that this rod has some power in it. You know, I was casting an indicator rig all day and it handled it just fine. There was a spot later in the day where the wind kind of picked up and I could punch through it without a problem. So that was very impressive to me. I wasn't quite expecting that. It felt great in the hands the entire day. My arm didn't get sore. It's super light in the hand. So that was a welcome surprise as well. For the question that I'm sure everybody is wondering, how much does this guy cost? So they're going to launch at $675, which is an exceptional price for this rod. There's not a lot on the market for that middle tier rod. And I think this thing will just wipe the floor with its competition. I genuinely can't tell the difference between this and a $1,000 rod. For the money, it is phenomenal. I kind of talked earlier about how Scott focuses more on the components and putting money towards the quality there. And you can tell that the money is well spent. It's just a phenomenal rod for the price point. A quick lineup that the session will be launched with. They're doing an 8-foot 3-weight, 9-foot 4-weight, 9-foot 5, 9-foot 6, 9-foot 7, and 9-foot 8. Then it bumps up to a 9-foot 6-inch 5-weight and a 9-foot 6-inch 6-weight, and then jumps again to a 10-foot 4-weight and a 10-foot 5-weight. I was fishing the 9-foot 6 in the 5-weight, loved every bit of it. Candidly, we did get our hands on these rods a little bit early and we were able to cast the 8-foot 3-weight, and everyone in the shop was just amazed at that thing. So we're pretty high on that rod. We got to cast the 9.4 and 9.5, and again, just phenomenal rods. So I think every rod in the lineup has its own specific purpose, and you can truly tell that when you're casting each individual one. So yeah, for the money, I don't think it gets better than this. So those are my thoughts and opinions on the new Scott session here. We're super excited to get these into the shop, so feel free to stop on by, test cast them, you know, ask us what we think. Let us know what you think of the video. Go ahead and like it, you know, subscribe. It helps us out a ton, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.